You already know who I am. It's your holiday ghost. What's up, holiday? Chilling. I'm in the hood right now, where I belong. I'm already home. This interview is to address certain issues concerning human rights and certain issues concerning commercialism, certain issues surrounding capitalism here in my beautiful country, America, Philadelphia. I'm a Philly boy, born, raised, bred here. I'm already home. I'm going to say this. I sat in front of a multi-billion-dollar food corporation. Your Wawa. Everybody's got to have a Wawa. This is where human rights do not correspond with what capitalism's agenda is. I stood in front of Wawa and watched a multi-billion-dollar business raking in billions of dollars send away homeless people who were outside asking each person as they went in to feed them. For me, it was an uproar. It was an outrage. Something needed to be done. Now, I'm not saying this to rebel rouse or to cause rioting I'm simply speaking on the lines that divide a city and the lines that divide humanity from capitalism. We cannot forget about who we are. I'm not pointing any fingers because I'm standing up first, saying that I'm guilty on both sides. I have perpetrated on both sides. I have been the homeless. I am the homeless. I'm still the homeless. Once you're homeless, you'll always be homeless. This is a mindset. Now, you can change the mindset, but the experiences will last forever. You'll never be the same. I want to say, if we sit in front of a place and we ask for food, we ask for help, we ask for provisions, and we're not acknowledged, we're simply pushed aside, we're being ousted in our own country by our own countrymen. What a horrible feeling. And if you've never felt that feeling, I'm saying to be ousted by your countrymen in your own country, not abroad, not some other place. We're talking about being home and shunned away for asking for help. But yet these same people, once they are hungry to the point where asking is no longer an option, and they went from knocking on the door to picking the lock, now there's an outrage. Now we have seasoned veteran police officers, some even seasoned in battle, standing and guarding the cold cuts in front of Wawa. We have police officers in place here while crime is running rampant. Look around here at Kensington where my people are. We're drowning in a cesspool. I remember resources were allocated to this city, to our mayor, hand delivered by our former president. Where are the resources going? Why have they not yet gotten to the people who need these resources the most? Who's in charge of allocating these funds? Who are the people put in place to delegate these issues? There are questions that have not been answered, folks. Now, I'm not saying this to cause any division. I'm saying this to bring light here in a community where the voice has been taken, silenced, and cut off. Many decisions continue to be made here about the people that live here without even consolidating or speaking to the people, coming here, speaking confirmation. None of these things have taken place, but yet decisions with people's lives continue to be made daily. I think it's very unfortunate. Some people here are not able to speak, and rightfully they've given away that right. However, there are people here who have been silenced and their voice is loud, and they have not been given an account, and they have not been heard. I think that is an outrage in itself. I implore anyone who's interested in trying to powwow, come up with resolutions that are non-violent, that are non-controversial, without media there, but the core issues that affect the front line here, right here in America, Kensington, USA, America. These issues can be addressed, but we have to come together now. This isn't a black, a white, a color thing. No color in the fucking rainbow. Orientation, none of these things matter when it comes to human rights. And that's what I want to speak about. I'll say one more thing. I was speaking with a comrade of mine, and we were speaking about America and so many of our forefathers who were countrymen, again, ousted by their own country, when they tried to rise up and speak on humanity issues. Look at John Lennon, perhaps. For example, gunned down in the middle of New York, popular city, in a very popular part of the town, right in front of everyone. This man was gunned down. But it wasn't only until he started to champion the cause that he was championing human rights. I could go on. Patrice Lumumba, all kinds of political heroes. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Again, even the JFK brothers. Men who were put down in our own country by our own countrymen for trying to stand up for human rights. America has always found a way to err out on the wrong side of history. So many times we've had the opportunity to be groundbreaking, trailblazers, and stand up for the right thing. But it seems as if capitalism has separated us from human rights. People often ask me, what do I champion? What is my cause? What is my campaign? And I say I have none, because too much ambition here can get you in a lot of trouble in America if it doesn't coincide with capitalism. Of course, Wawa may have to, right, fund the whole thing, or perhaps they'll get one of those foot-long, block-long hoagies and shit, right, and they'll come out there. But either way, money has to be made. We've separated religion from state. Is this a horrible mistake? Have we learned from this? What have we learned? What did it prosper? What did it profit? Now children are disconnected emotionally, spiritually, and human rights are not even an issue anymore. I'm just bringing some topics to the table that I see affecting us all day. Why do I say that? Because now the insensitivity shown by corporates, the big conglomerates, the big money makers, have trickled down to the point where here in our community, we have disconnected from each other. We won't even lend our fellow man a hand. We can see our comrade down, knees down, boots off, and we still won't lean down to offer them a hand. However, so disconnected, we'll lean down to peek inside their purse, right? To try to scurry away with a coin. We're taking from each other and we do not have. This is another part of the cesspool that we're swimming in. And something needs to be done. In my eyes, support does not mean financial attachment or financial gain or giving financially. Support means the room being filled with the people who are affected the most, with their hearts and their minds open to powwow, to hear, to converse, to dialogue, right? Not just, and I call it exclusion by inclusion. And it's when you're invited into the room, but your voice is never heard in the room. And on the outside, it looks as if you were a part of the changes that are being allocated. However, you were never heard. So the people that these changes affect the most never get to be heard. It's called exclusion by inclusion. Just because you're in the room, folks, does not mean that you'll be heard. The way that change looks to me is that support looks to me is that when we hear each other, even if we don't agree on these issues, we still can find a way to disagree and still be disagreeable. Recovery to me is a continuous process. There is no state of completion in recovery. Anyone who is an addict or who has battled with any of these issues know that recovery is a everyday and every moment, day by day process. And you have to recover each day. There's emotionally recoveries that you have to recover from the damage that we've done. There are spiritual recoveries that we have to struggle with. Our imam goes up. We struggle with our faith. There are political issues that we have to struggle with. Recovery. We have to reintegrate back into society. A part of recovery. Being rejected and being still pushed away by our countrymen when we're looked at or looked down upon or considered to be the ones that are fleecing America. I think that recovery looks like us rallying together and propping each other up so that the fall is negated or delayed or not as drastic. We got to stop judging. We got to get around each other. We got to get behind each other. We got to get our arms up, connected in love instead of extended in battle.
What triggers cravings?
Coochie meth. I'm just kidding. Coochie meth did it to me. But what triggers cravings? To me, it's the flesh battling with the spirit, which we all go through. However, Cravings comes from many different things. Sometimes we crave love, and so we crave for food when love is not accessible. Sometimes we crave for drugs when emotionally we do not have the answers to the problems that we rehearse. This is the act of worry, rehearsing the problem over and over and over again without the solution. This is worry. This is another thing that triggers cravings. I'm an emotional eater. I get in my feelings, I start thinking about the things that I fucked up, my ambitions going forward, me and the thoughts that I had about my future and where I thought that I would be at right now. And I get depressed. I go through these emotions. My anxiety is the size of a planet. My jealousy lives right next door to my insecurities. They both gang up together, and right next to it, I get a call from my plug, and then drugs are introduced into it, and now cravings are running wild. Coochie Meth did it to me. Coochie!
Okay, listen number 4. What's one thing you wish people understood about your struggle?
The one thing that I hope people would understand about my struggles is that my struggle is not my struggle alone. It is a universal struggle for all of us. If you see the struggle in me, it's a small glimpse of the same struggle that is perhaps in one of your relatives, one of your friends, one of your neighbors, one of your comrades, perhaps even in yourself. So let us look at each other with a less harsh and judging eye, and perhaps move forward looking towards resolution with a more loving and compassionate way of handling each other.
Excellent.
Perhaps.
Excellent. When you look around you, man, you see a lot of our brothers and sisters struggling. You yourself, you in the struggle too, right?
My comrades.
What's the biggest barrier that's keeping these folks from recovery, including yourself?
I believe the biggest barrier is the shunning by our countrymen. Again, we may have fallen out of the commercialism of America. We may have fallen out of the ranks, but we are still born and bred Americans here. We are still Philadelphians through and through. Yes, I am my brother's keeper, but can we say this for our nation? There are judgments that are made by people who are in a position of power that is unfairly being made, and it is affecting people directly, ground zero, with their judgments and with their assumptions. But you have to come here and be a part of what's happening here in order to understand it. There's an adage in the Bible spoken by the Apostle Paul, and I think it's fitting for here. He said that I became some things of all things, that I might win some of all. But in order to become a thing, no matter how long it is, temporary or for long term, you must be able to empathize. And next to empathy lives sympathy, two completely different emotions, however closely related. In order to empathize with a person, you must be able to completely remove what you are feeling and what you think and what you judge, and place yourself directly into the shoes. It's almost like you're astral projecting. That may be over some people's head, but you have to remove yourself completely in order to empathize. Step inside of the life of that person and feel, live, smell, walk, talk exactly what they are in order to empathize, to understand what they're going through. To sympathize is to stand back in a more reserved place and feel the sorrow, the pain, or the downside of whatever it is that someone may be feeling. The upside, the sympathy. Two completely different things, living close to each other, but divine and separate in their own right, I believe. I will say this, Malcolm, change has already arrived. Refuge is already here. Relief is already here. The only thing that needs to happen by all of us, including you out there, is your faith, your belief. Your faith that change is already here is what will activate what must be done. It is your belief. We must reserve our judgment. God says that we should be wise and use wise judgment when living amongst the earth with our brothers and our sisters, our comrades. God never tells us to reserve a seat placed up high and to judge others. And so I leave you with that. We should practice more on using wise judgment with the lives that we lead individually and collectively before we reserve a place of judgment towards others. Living and using wise judgment and being judgmental are two very different things. I love you, Philly. I'm already home. This is the beginning of the new process. There is new blood, clean blood, that is ushering in right now. And there the change will begin. The old system, the old way of politics, the old way of resolving issues will burn. It will burn. And I do not mean this as a threat to the society that we live in, my beloved Philadelphia. This is my Philadelphia. So I do not mean that in a physical way. Rebel rousing is not my intentions here. But for you to take recollection of an epiphany that is inevitable, that is taking place already now. I encourage anyone who is looking to try and be part of the positivity in change to come and find me. And I will give all of me, unconditionally and without reserve, to champion your cause if it is a righteous cause, rooted in humanity and in human rights.
How can they find you, brother?
I'm already home. I'm in the streets, in the heart lane. It's where Holiday lost his heart. But I'm already home. Find me in Kensington, America, on the front line. My boots are always on the ground. Now, it may get a little bit mucky where you'll come to find me, but I was born in this cesspool. Unfortunately, drugs and commercialism brought so many others here.
Thank you, brother.
You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. What can we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah. You know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets left to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah. Say yeah. Say, you know me, I got no time to waste. Type of energy that can't be replaced. No debate, we can take it back to my place. I can turn around, let me show you how it tastes, yeah. A baller, mine on the dollar. Swallowing the bottle while you're smoking on gelato. Now do you need some of that no? Just tell me that you're coming through. Bounce on the rhythm, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah.